Hello and welcome to the Narc Alert, the channel where we look at YouTubers and others to see if they demonstrate any traits that fall within the spectrum of narcissistic personality disorder or NPD. These videos are for fun and entertainment purposes only, strictly my opinion, and remember, please don't send any snark to our possible narcs. So key points to remember: messy fun and not a diagnosis. Hello, hola, bonjour, hey y'all. My name is Merc. Welcome back to the Narc Alert. Well, here we are on Friday, and I've decided that Friday is going to be our Amber Day. We're going to try and do Amber once a week. Now, if you guys really want me to cover it on a live stream, I'm going to cover it. That's what we're here for. Or if something wildly exciting happens, we'll make an exception. But I'm going to try and stick to a once a week look at whatever Amber has done. So we're going to call this the Redundancy Report, Fridays with Amberlynn Reid. Now, this week, you monsters voted in a poll to cover her on the Wednesday live stream. So we've already covered one of her videos this week, which leaves us with just the one video. So today, we're just going to do a reaction to the one video that we've got left for the week. Also, I have to introduce the redundancy reporter. Rio is here. He's, of course, having a sleep because he knows this is all entirely redundant. Anyway, Amberlynn, what do you got to say to us today? All right, Bambi, take it away.
Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So today I figured we would do an Instagram Q&A. So all my questions that I got today are from Instagram. I just posted on Instagram and said, hey guys, I'm filming a new YouTube video, so send me your questions. Nothing is off limits. Normally when I do that, I'll scroll through, like I get hundreds of questions. I'll scroll through. I'll just decide based on like what I feel like.
Doesn't she answer questions on every video? Isn't the end of every single video she uploads questions? Okay, this girl, she's clearly run out of content, and she knows that she can't just film a friggin' bingo dauber again. She's on the struggle bus. All right, let's go. More questions about Amberlynn.
Like answering if there's any questions that I notice are like super repetitive and a lot of people are asking. But this time I went into it with a new rule. I said that I am going to answer the first 30 questions regardless of what they are.
30. Who wants to answer 30 questions about themselves? Do you want to answer 30 questions? Maybe some of you do, but oh my God, I can't imagine. I would get bored by question 8. I'd be, can we talk about you for a while? Because I don't want to talk about me anymore. Come on.
Obviously, if there's any repeats, then I'm going to skip that and move on to the next question. But I wrote down the first 30. It's a lot, so we definitely should just get into it. I'm going to be answering them in the order that I received them. So the first
one... And again, busy work, minutia, rewriting things. These are questions on your Instagram. You don't have to rewrite them. Tap them on her paper, make it sound all official. It's the minutia of nothingness.
Did you ever cheat on an ex? And the answer is yes. The last time I cheated on someone, I was 17 years old, and I'm 33 now. So it's been a hot minute. That's why I don't firmly believe in the whole, like, once a cheater, always a cheater. I do think that there are a lot of cheaters who do not change. But there's also a large quantity of us, like me, who do change. And
so once a cheater, always a cheater doesn't apply because she doesn't want it to apply to her. All right, Amber.
I'm going to blame it on, like, I was young and stupid. Yes, when you're 17,
to be fair, people that are, I mean, that's why it's good to be in relationships, I guess, when you're young, because you figure shit out and you do make mistakes, and that's fair. But of course, it just sounds so typical that, no, well, once a cheater, always a cheater doesn't really apply because, you know, I'm better now.
You know the difference between right and wrong, but like I was
yeah,
also in a long distance relationship at that age, so I was just a mess. But I have not cheated since then, and I don't plan on it. Thoughts on people saying that you're quitting semaglutide rather than it just not working for you? So semaglutide obviously does not work for everybody, and it did work for me when I was on the lowest dose. The first 4 weeks was literally magic. Then once week 5 happened, I really don't know what happened, but it just like stopped working.
Maybe because at your size in the first month, you're going to drop a lot of weight. I would guess no matter what program you're on, there's going to be a lot of water weight. You said you stopped drinking pop. So, your sodium's probably lower. And now you might have to put in a little bit of effort. It's not a magic shot. Amber, it's not a fucking magic shot. You have to do some work in conjunction with the medication. It's a tool. It's not magic. God, you're so lazy.
And then I was just hoping that like once I increased the dose that it would start working again, and it hasn't. So a lot of times if semaglutide doesn't work for someone, you just move on to the next one. There's also compounded Monjaro. So
now she's going to move on to what's going to happen when she runs out of these drugs. I'm not sure. Again, you've heard me say a million times, I'm not in the States, so I don't understand any of your medical stuff. I would never claim to. And also, large weight loss. I have to lose weight. Most of us do. Not all of us, but anyway. How many of these generic semaglutides are there? And aren't they basically just the same thing? Aren't they basically the same thing? Aren't they all generic versions of Ozempic? I'm confused. So now she's just going to start filing through these drugs. She's going to go on the next one. It's going to work for a couple of weeks. She'll be happy as a clam, and then she'll have to do some work, and it'll stop working. And is there another one now after this? How many of these is she going to go through?
Oh, obviously that's another option for me. Would you ever talk to a guy? No, I am a lesbian. Have you spoken to
What? What? Did I hear that right?
You just move on to the next one. There's also compounded Monjaro. So
okay.
Obviously that's another option.
Just move on to the next one.
Would you ever talk to a guy? No, I am a lesbian.
Oh my, did you know that?
Valentine since you broke up. After we broke up, we wanted to try being friends, but that did not work out at all. The last time that I talked to her was like maybe 2 weeks ago, but the last time she contacted me was she sent me a screenshot of a TikTok I posted, and she was pretty upset about it. So even if she hurt me, like obviously it does.
Would it have been the one where you talked about how you were done wrong and somebody cheated on you and what a shit they are and all that? Jeez, it's amazing that people that you have in your life might look at your social media, Amber. That's exactly why you posted it, because you wanted that reaction. Now you got that reaction. And the whole thing about Fleen and you trying to be friends, or was that what she said, or is she talking about Valentine? Sorry, I'm way...
And she was pretty upset about it. So even if she hurt me, like obviously it does bother me that my TikTok hurt her, but I do feel in my...
That's why you made it. You made it to hurt her. You made it so that your hundreds of thousands of viewers would see you as a poor victim and her as a runt. And that's exactly why you made it. And that's exactly why you published it. So don't... I feel bad that I hurt her. No, you don't. You got your desired effect.
Heart that I had every right to be able to post that if I wanted to, but I didn't respond to her message because it was just kind of...
You have every right to post that, absolutely every right, and you've got every right to feel how you feel, but then don't come at us and say, oh, but I feel bad because I hurt her, because you know you were going to. So own that part of it too. Own it all, but own that part of it too. Actions have consequences.
Harsh. And I just think right now in both of our lives, we probably shouldn't communicate with each other.
She probably told you to F off.
Valentine first before wanting her to move in, because there was a lot of things that like she was going through. And
stop moving in with people that you haven't met. Stop doing that. It's not a good thing to do. I don't care how enamored you are with that morning text. Oh, but they're perfect and they say everything perfect and they like everything I like. And oh my God, we're so perfect together. You don't know each other. Many of us have gone through the experience of being enamored with somebody online, on text, in messages. And then you finally meet and you know what? The vibe's just not quite the same sometimes. Many times it is. If you're very, many times it is. But sometimes it's not. And that's why you have to meet them first. God, it's like, you're like a child. You're like a 33-year-old child.
it would have been actually impossible for her to just like come visit me first. And we really wanted to be together. So we thought that that was the only option to do so.
No,
What
you
is your
can,
type personality?
you know, people date, Amber. You don't go from saying hello to moving in together. There's this whole process called dating. In the olden days, they called it courting. And it's a process where you see each other on occasion, but you don't have to commit your whole life together. You might just spend a couple hours together, and in those couple of hours, you get to know each other a little bit more. And then you go home and you know, it's like when you eat something nice and the flavor lingers in your mouth. You get to go home and you get to think about the experience and think about it and process. And maybe maybe something you thought was cute that night, when you get home and think about it, you go, actually, that was kind of weird, right? That's why you have to take time apart and process and see each other again. Amber, good Christ.
Wise. So I like someone who's weird. We can be weird together.
You've never liked anybody weird. I swear to God, she says this all the time. Her definition of weird is pedestrian. I like somebody who's absolutely the status quo, pedestrian, and dull. That's what weird is to her. Weird to Amber is watching something quirky on TV. Amber, that's not weird. Having different tastes isn't weird. You've never been with anybody weird. Destiny, Becky, Casey, I don't know much about Fled, but they all seem like pretty normal human beings. They're not actually weird. None of them are quirky. Words have meaning.
Someone who's funny, charming. I like a genuine person, a genuine soul, someone who is sweet, someone that I can like easily communicate with, get along with. We can have like our inside jokes.
You like what everybody likes. You like what absolutely, I'm going to turn this down in case we're having some blurring. You like what absolutely everybody else likes in a human being, Amber. Good.
Not just like lovers, but we're also best friends. What else can you tell us about your favorite reaction channel besides that they're a woman? So I actually used to have like a little tiny mini crush on them. So that's some tea.
See, that's interesting because I had somebody in mind that I thought it was, but given that she said she had a crush on them, I don't think it would be that person. But I wonder who it is. Guys, it's not me. I know you guys kid around and say that. She hates me. She hates me. And that's fine. But I'm curious. I wonder who it is. There's not many female reaction channels that show their face.
Amberlynn having a crush on a reaction channel? Whoa. Besties, blocked, or acquaintance? Alex, Zach, Jordy. So with this question, it took me like a million years to figure out what they meant, but I think
because you're not that bright. Besties, blocked, or acquaintances like kill, marry, or F, right? Why did I say F when I say that word all the time?
It's like F, marry, kill.
Yeah.
But this person was like besties, blocked, acquaintance. And I was like, oh, that's actually pretty smart. So Alex, Zach, or Jordy. Okay. So I'm not going to lie. My opinion on these three change all the time. So we're just going to go with...
Yeah, because she only likes you if you're nice to her. She doesn't like people for who they are. She just admitted it right here. She doesn't like you for who you are. She only likes you if you kiss her ass. That's it. So right now, who's kissing her ass the hardest? That's how she'll answer this question.
Strictly how I feel right now in this moment.
Yeah.
Acquaintance, Zach. Besties, Jordy. Blocked, Alex.
Besties, Jordy. She did a whole video about... And she really trashed him, too. You're such a hypocritical, shallow, empty human being, Amber. My God. You think you're clever here? You just told us all. You take no stake in other human beings at all. It's only how they make you feel or how they react to you. That's it. Nothing to do with them. Such a narcissistic thing to do.
Do you want to get married one day? I do. I've always wanted to get married. But obviously I want to be with someone that like I can truly see like a happy future with.
And she's trying to portray herself as really genuine and loving. She does this, I do, this really, I really do. This soft voice that makes me want.
Are you talking to someone new? Yes, I am. Does your mom enjoy being on videos more now?
I bet she's not, and she just said that because she's trying to piss off Valentine. What do you guys think? I mean, she could be. We know she does.
But I got a feeling that was just a little tactic. Because now she knows that Valentine watches her social media because Valentine was mad about the TikTok. So she's going to think Valentine is watching her and she's going to piss her off now. That's
She
what I
actually
think.
does. And she'll literally watch the videos that she's in because she's just cute and adorable. So she loves your guys' support and everything. So yeah, are you still not smoking? Actually, I did start vaping again. I did. I told you guys.
Big surprise, Amber. You've got no willpower. You've got no strength to do anything. All you care about is immediate gratification. That's the single only thing that's important to you. It's the single only thing that fuels you. Immediate gratification. You can't stick to anything.
That me quitting vaping was not going to be a forever thing. I really warned you guys of that. But I didn't vape for like 7 weeks.
Who cares?
And I'm very proud of that accomplishment.
Yeah, of course you are.
But I was missing it. And now I vape again. For those of you who don't know, I do not vape nicotine. It's not nicotine, so don't worry about that. It is Delta 8.
Oh, it's Delta 8 again? The last 3 videos you talked about it was THC. So now it's Delta 8 again? And somebody came at me and said, oh, Merrick, there's THC in Delta 8. Yeah, that's 0.001% THC in Delta 8. Nobody that does Delta 8 refers to Delta 8 as THC. I don't think so. So, okay, and I'm not judging. Hey, stoner, we don't judge. I'm Canadian, but, it's the hypocrisy. It's not the act. It's the hypocrisy around the act, Amber.
Which probably isn't the greatest thing either, but
you have lung issues too. Let's just put that out there.
Whatever. What was the date you and Valentine broke up? It was one day after our 4-month anniversary. I broke up with her on June 15th. When was the last time?
Oh, Valentine. I keep thinking fled because I don't consider Valentine a real relationship.
You had sex. So the last time I had physical sex with somebody, it's a really weird way for me to word it, but it was September.
She said physical sex because she wants us to know that she was intimate with Valentine, even if they weren't in person. It was intimate, guys. It was serious. Yes.
I'm very much that girly pop where I can't have sex with someone unless I love them or I'm extremely close to loving them because I need that mental, emotional connection. That is how I gain the sexual connection. And once that's there, it is if you could travel anywhere and live there for a month, where would you go?
Bora
I
Bora.
don't know why, but Vegas or Hawaii, I feel like it would be super fun to live there for a full month. I would have the time of my life. Why don't you ever acknowledge your own?
How would you have the time of your life in Hawaii, Amber? How would you have? Tell us. What would you do in Hawaii that would make it the time of your life? I'm curious. Hiking up to the volcanoes? Would that be good? Cliff diving? What is it about Hawaii? What happened to Bora Bora? And Vegas? I can see you fitting in there. But it's a lot of walking, isn't it? Oh, Vegas, because she could sit her ass in front of a slot machine. Okay.
Own hypocrisy. That word is so hard for me to say. I don't know why. But I do feel like I own it and acknowledge it. I always say that all of us as humans, we're literally walking hypocrites. And
okay, nobody's asking about society, your view of societies in general, your sociological outtake on society. They're talking about you. Stop roping us into this and just talk about you. You want to take responsibility? The first thing you do is start saying, well, yeah, I like to take responsibility. All of us do. No, that's not taking responsibility.
That is including myself. When semaglutide was working, did you ever miss the joy food gave you? Honestly, no. And that was something that I was always afraid of. I was like, shit, am I just going to have a mental breakdown because I can't enjoy food? And I never once felt that way. I was so excited not to turn to food, and that's why I was finding different coping mechanisms, and it was working out really well when it was working.
What were the different coping mechanisms? Has she shown us any of those? Coloring book? Was it the coloring book? She doesn't talk about Lego anymore. What happened to the Batman Lego? What coping? I don't understand what?
Like, I felt amazing physically, mentally, all of it.
Okay.
Are you still drinking? Because you seem drunk all the time. This made me LOL because I don't know what about myself.
I'm sorry, it made you what now? It made you what now? Did it make you laugh? 34. 34 years old, okay? Sticking out my guillot for the Rizzler. She's
Makes
so
it seem like I'm
skibbit.
drunk because I
She's so
promise you that is not the
fantax.
case at all. I haven't drank in so long.
Bet you
Like, it's
forgot
been
about that.
months. And the last time was literally with friends. But I do plan on
Literally
drinking
with
sometime
friends.
soon because I do have someone coming to visit me. And, you know, we might have a buzz ball or 2 or 3 or 4. So I'm actually really excited. I'm not going to lie. Not excited about the buzz balls, but excited about the person coming to visit.
So is she trying to infer that her new crush is coming to visit? Otherwise, she'd say one of her friends, right? So this little bit of theater is to let Valentine know that not only is she talking to somebody, but she's already coming to meet her. Already. Okay? This one is unentangled. I'm not just a side piece. This one's already coming to meet me. That's what this is about.
Me. But I mean, also low-key kind of excited for a buzz.
Isn't it sad, Amber, that you can't ever go and visit anybody else? Isn't it sad that you just have to sit there like Amber the Hutt on your couch and wait for people to come to you because you're not physically able to go and visit people?
Because why not? Did you ever want kids before getting your hysterectomy? Yes, I always wanted kids. There was like a phase where I was in like this weird denial moment where I was like, no, I don't want kids. And I think it's because like I knew I would never be able to give birth. I've always like truly wanted a daughter, especially like obviously in fairy tale land, if I got pregnant and had a son, like I would totally love him, like regardless. But like I just had this dream that I had a little mini me walking around, and yes, that can seem narcissistic.
Yeah, it can seem narcissistic because it is. And as somebody who suffered for not anymore, because now her brain is Swiss cheese with dementia, but I've said many times, my mother, my narcissist, as I am the victim of narcissistic abuse, just like Becky, for 40 years, 45 years at the hands of my mother. Longer. I'm old. Thank God for that hysterectomy, because we don't need any more narc mothers. We've got a lot of people. I've got a lot of people in my community that have narc parents. And a narcissist as a mother is a nightmare. A mini me. Until it forms its own personality. And then there's problems. We all know that. Thank God she's not able to have a child. That's the most blessed thing that ever happened.
I really don't care. But I think it's a pretty common thing for parents to be like, yeah, I would love a son, or yeah, I would love a daughter. And for me, it was, I would love a daughter. Like, I just wanted that so bad. Like, I had her name picked out and everything. And I'm not going to get to experience that. And that's something that's been very hard for me to process and mourn because it's something that was really important to me. Did Valentine troll you? No. This is one of the ones that was a very popular question.
Oh, I bet.
A lot of people thinking that Valentine trolled me. She was actually a hater. She was this or that. No.
We still not even convinced she's real, Amber, but you know, carry on.
That's not true. 1000% genuine in what we had.
Yeah, she
But
loved
again,
you
that
so
was
much.
just like a part of the life she was living, whereas she was also living this whole separate life. It's a lot and it's confusing. And
it's not confusing. She was in a relationship and you were her side piece, and she had fun until it got serious, and then she pieced out. Right? Not that complicated, Amber.
Understand that.
So actually, it kind of was a troll. Kind of was.
But even though you guys don't know who Valentine is, I just feel like me as a person, morally, I can't imagine myself like sharing this person's like story to you guys. I just can't. Like, as much as she hurt me and we didn't work out.
No, because it's embarrassing and you look bad in the end. So that's why you're not sharing this story. Because if she really did you shit and you could prove it and make yourself the victim, you would be spewing this all over social media and we all know it. And you'd be thinking, I'm doing it in a clever way. I'm so discreet, but giving us enough information that the farmers would go and find out stuff. We know how you work. Amber, we've seen your work.
This and that. Like, I still do care about her. Do you think you will ever tell us what happened with you and Feline? No. Like, that is like a closed door.
Oh, Fled's gone.
Done. The key has been thrown in the freaking ocean with that necklace from Titanic. Are you still friends with Eric and Ricky? I am.
I think Fled is the closest thing to a normal person that she had a relationship with. And when Fled was done, she was like, I am out of here. I'm not part of this. I'm never watching one of your stupid videos. Get the hell out of my life. I bet she's embarrassed and she'll never even tell anybody about you.
Same person also asked, do you still talk to Alexis? Yes, she is like one of my greatest friends. What did you last journal about? So the last thing I journaled about is the girl that I'm talking to. What do you think about what is going on with Jojo Siwa? I mean, what is really going on? Like, what does that even mean? Like, she just turned 21. She's young. You know, her full brain hasn't even formed yet. Like, I'm pretty sure when we were all 21, like, we all made some dumb decisions and acted a fool. She happens to just be doing it online. And she's not doing anything to, like, really hurt herself or others. She's just young and being silly.
And she's obnoxious and she's unlikable. And she's so narcissistic. Amber, see, this is where your disconnect comes, is Jojo, like you, is so enamored with herself and has to talk about herself and wear t-shirts with a picture of herself while she walks over to her car that's wrapped with herself. That's what, see that? The rest of us find that dislikable.
And being weird and trying to get attention. And I see nothing wrong with it, personally.
I mean, yeah, she's not doing anything criminal, but yeah, she's going to get mocked for her behavior because of what she's doing. Nobody's judging her and saying she's evil. She's just acting a fool. And it's sad that at her age, there's nobody around her that can help her and tell her to stop acting. But she's been doing this for a long time. But that's a topic for another video.
Lie to protect someone you care about. Why would anyone be upset about that? Because I would do the same. Good question. I think people get upset about things that they don't understand. They judge things that they don't understand. If anyone was in the situation or few situations that I've been in where I've had to like cover up for someone because I care about them or tell a little lie because I care about them, like I feel like anyone would do that.
Hey, just a second ago, weren't you telling us how moral you are? Literally like 2 questions ago, you were talking about your intense morality. But now it's okay to lie sometimes, right? It's okay to lie sometimes, guys. When you in the set of circumstances that I've designed in my head, in my personal head, there are certain times when lying is perfectly okay and acceptable.
Or at least
but I'm very moral.
Hope they would, just out of respect for the person that they care about. When did you get lipedema and lymphedema? So the symptoms of my lipedema, I've actually had my whole life. Like I literally have a picture of me wearing like these really short pants when I was like 11, and you could tell like my legs are just like bigger than the average. So I've always had that. But my lymphedema started in like, I would say like 2018, 2019. How do you handle being alone? Honestly, I don't know. Like it was such a scary thing to like adjust to. But then once I adjusted.
You're not alone. You are not alone. You get up every day and you probably call your mom. Do something with mom every day. Mom takes care of taking you out for your groceries. Mom comes and does your shopping. If you're bored, you call your mom. You don't know what living alone is like. You have a roommate, your mom. She just lives in a different house. But you're fully dependent on other people. You don't know what it's like to go out and take care of your own life. You don't. You don't know what it's like to go out and buy your own groceries or even Instacart. I guess you could, but you don't. You just don't, Amber. And it's not like we all have friends and people in our lives, and that's fine, but your mother assists you in getting your life done.
I low-key fell in love. Like I love living on my own, and I've gotten to experience it. It's like a whole different level of like independency. Yes, I don't drive. I know a lot of people like to throw that in there.
What now? You're a level of independency. Okay, Authorlynn.
there. But there is something about being home alone day in, day out, doing things for you and not having anyone else like here to help or whatever. Like it.
When does that happen? That's not your reality at all. And it's sad that you say sitting here day in and day out. That's sad. Amber, you're 34. You should be living your life. You know, I don't know, but for me, between 25 and say 55, maybe you should be out living the best life you can, working on a career, building something for your future. No, just sitting here day in and day out.
It has made me realize that, like, yes, I was like forced into this for the lack of a better term. But like, if I was never forced into it, I would have never like gotten to experience it and realize that like
You haven't.
I love living alone. But I'm also in this like part of my life where if I do end up living with someone else, like I'm also okay with that.
Yeah, because you're already trying to find somebody to move in, Amber. So how much do you really love living alone? You know, my friend Tim has been in the same relationship with his partner for, I don't know, 35 years, a long time. You know that they only started living together maybe 5 years ago, and it was kind of a forced thing because of a renovation that was going on in their apartments, and it just made more sense. But they enjoyed a fully committed partnership for many years in their own apartments. You don't have to move them in right away.
Because I got to experience this. And I am 33. I'm going to be 34 in December. I'm getting older and my life is literally changing constantly. So knowing that I
Just
got
like
to experience
all of
this,
ours.
I loved it and I can do it.
How is your life changing anyway? You moved to Oklahoma and you've been sitting on that couch and playing bingo with your mom since you got there. What's the big change? You went from sitting on the couch with Fled beside you working at a desk to sitting on a couch at home with your mom now with bingo. Like nothing's really changed.
Can live by myself, like physically, mentally, all of it. When I really thought that I wasn't going to be able to, I proved myself wrong. I know that I can do it again. So
how about if you didn't have your mom to talk to for like 4 days, 4 or 5 days in a whole row? You didn't have your mom. You didn't talk to your mom or any. I wonder what would happen then. Would you feel the same way? Would you feel lonely at all? Do you have friends that you can call? Would you still be able to function without your mom?
if I do end up ever living with someone else, like I'm also okay with that and totally willing to let that happen. Have you gained weight recently?
Dying for it.
I have, yes. Last question.
We know.
I wish it was a grand finale, but this was the last question that I received because, like I said, I did them all in order. Are you left-handed? I am left-handed, yes. So
Nobody cares. Holy mackerel. 30 questions. Most of them we don't really care about. And how many times she's answered if she's left-handed or not. She couldn't just skip that one. Here's a new rule for Amber and her questions. How about if you've already answered it 77 times? Wasn't that her favorite number? 77? Wasn't her cameo $77 because she liked the number? Okay, here's a new rule, Amber. If you've already answered the question 77 times, skip it and go to the next question because most of us have already heard the answer. Oh gosh, I hate. Okay, well, what can I say? The redundancy report. Today, this really fit its name. What's coming up next? We know she's struggling. She doesn't really have any content. What is she going to do? She can't answer questions forever. Fox is on the run. I can't wait to see what happens next. I don't really care. We'll cover her next Friday, unless you absolute monsters make me look at it again on the live stream on Wednesday. We're going to keep doing other stuff, though. I can't see you. I can't see you. I can't. Let's be real. I can't see you. I can't wait to see you on the live stream tomorrow, Saturday at 6 o'clock. I'm not sure what we're going to cover, but it won't be Amber. So we'll have some fun. And we'll do some other stuff. If you haven't watched the Amazon interview, please go watch it. It's really good. Those people are so amazing. And Dolly, the founder of Angels of the Amazon, is a woman who is so inspiring. Amberlynn could only hope to be as inspirational as Dolly's little toe. So go give that a watch and maybe support the organization and the kids. Until we meet tomorrow on the live stream, you know what to do. You know, just go be kind. Just be kind. And hasta luego.